So don't let your life turn to chaos. One of the things that's really easy to do if you are transitioning over to a more nomadic lifestyle, more of a remote lifestyle, where you don't necessarily have a lot of the same problems with having like a set schedule in office you have to be at and like set hours where you're just basically doing things, kind of whenever you decide they need to do. It could be a couple hours during the week. It could be in the middle of the night. It's really easy to, when you're making that transition, to go into some sort of more of a, almost like procrastinating and letting everything getting very chaotic. So I know that because I was there not too long ago, I know how when you're sitting in that office or you're in your morning commute and then you're sitting there and you have to dress a certain way, you have to interact with people a certain way, and you're just thinking like, God, I hate this. Oh my God, it's just like that pit in your stomach. It's just kind of like, it just builds up. It's like, I don't know, I just, I used to feel that way all the time, and I was just like, God, I can't wait to get away from that. And there's two ways that you can basically handle that. Hold on, let me cross the street. So there's basically two ways that you can sort of confront that tense feeling that either you're feeling right now because you're home, you're in an office and you're just dreading going to work the next day, or you just recently transitioned and you still have kind of a recent memory of that feeling that you had and you would do anything to escape. Is the two directions you can go is basically, one of them is sort of the novel fantasy of, I'm just gonna have a laptop and be sitting on a chair on the beach, the old laptop on the beach thing, which maybe you'll do that a couple days, but you're gonna find out that like sitting on the beach with a laptop is just not very productive. You're probably not going to have any power connected, for one thing. Other people are at the beach too, so you got kids running around, you got hustlers that are trying to sell you stuff, and they're not really paying any attention to what you're doing. They don't care. Like, so you're gonna be shooing them away a lot. Also, like, you got the glare off of your screen, which makes it not ideal. Basically, you're gonna find out real quick that it's, what's going on here? That it's just not practical to be working on a beach. So you already know you're gonna end up working in a cafe or a co-working space. I recommend doing co-working spaces. Cafes, people are there to hang out. And so like, you're invading their space actually by bringing your laptop and thinking you're gonna get some stuff done. Because they're there to hang out. You're not supposed to be just sitting there, buying one coffee every 3 hours. So like, just do yourself a favor. Pick the appropriate level of a co-working space. It's like conducive to like, your budget and what you got going on. I used to have WeWork. I love WeWorks. They're very nice. They're also really fucking expensive. I recently changed over to Regus, which is really like it's missing the ping pong table and the cool Brooklyn hipster vibe that we all like, but it's also a lot less expensive, and at the end of the day I just need a desk in a semi-quiet place, but that depends on what's available in your region and how much you're moving around. Here in Bali, the Regus that was in my area that I would have been going to is temporarily closed on Google Maps, so I'm just basically going to another place and just kind of paying day by day, or sometimes you can do a week membership. Like, go ahead and do that. But sort of really to get back to what I was actually the real point, which was this idea of like there's two different directions you could go in terms of once you transition over to remote work, is letting your life be very chaotic and basically just getting everything done at the last minute when you're in a constant emergency mode. And one of the big problems with that is, well, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. The positive end of it is when you're on a constant emergency mode, you're actually only spending your time getting shit done that has to get done, and sometimes that allows you to clear away a lot of extra busy work that you're doing that's honestly not necessary for moving the ball forward. It's really easy to stuff our schedules with stuff that, like for us to sit down and go to the cafe or go to the computer, go to the WeWork or go to wherever and sit down on our laptop and then just find really stupid, silly shit to do that makes us feel like we're productive, but we're not moving the ball forward. We're not either increasing sales or we're not delivering for our clients. We're just sort of doing some of the other needless shit so we can kind of get like a little bit of a dopamine hit of being able to tell ourselves, I got something done today. And so, a little bit of a tangent, but back to the whole idea of letting yourself go being chaotic. It's really more important to, rather than just getting to things whenever we want to get to them and letting our, spend all night, drinking every night because, I'm in Bali and fuck it. And if you're here for a short trip, that's fine, but you need to either get that shit out of your system at like the beginning of the trip or make it just the one part or do it maybe just once a month, but don't like consistently be fucking around all the time. So the path number one is chaos, and then the path way over that would be excessive would be kind of the one I was talking about, where you're basically making up work just to make yourself feel productive and you're not actually doing anything that's like really moving the ball forward. And then to splice those, to be in the middle, if you're someone who's still stuck in your office, then one of the things that you do need to be doing is picking a route. Like if you're there and you're in your office, just think like in that exact moment, what would you rather be doing in that office? And not, I'd rather be, drinking a Mai Tai on the beach or having sex or some other, or playing golf or whatever the fucking you do for leisure. Like really think about like in your work environment, where you're at, what would you want to change? Would you want to be close to the window? Would you want to be, close to the gym? Would you rather be wearing? What would you rather your commute look like? Think about all those little minor variations, and think about the fact that unless you just sold a company and you're totally retired, or you've basically just gotten yourself into some sort of situation where you just have money and you don't need to do anything, which even if you are in that situation, I would still recommend you find something productive to do with your time, whether it's content creation, whether it's writing a book, whether it's starting a new company, whether it's starting a fucking charity. I mean, like, if you have the time and you have the money and you don't want to be a greedy capitalist and take anything more from the system, like, start a charity, do something. But you should be spending most of your time still doing something. And you, like, even if that doesn't mean you got to be, at a desk 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, or, all that other stuff. Like, you can still manage your own schedule, but I would still recommend that at least 3 to 4 days a week, you have some sort of plan for you're gonna go to a place and you're gonna get some kind of work done. And that structure is less about generating income or anything else. I mean, obviously, for a lot of people, generating income is the key thing. But even if money is not even important, then you should still be actually doing something semi-productive multiple times throughout the week, just for your own personal sanity, like you have a reason to get up and leave your place and do something. And obviously you can give yourself time off whenever you want to. If you want to spend a couple days, up in a villa or up by the beach, of course you can do that anytime you want. But the key thing is really maintaining some kind of basic structure so that you're not going crazy. It's a little more of a mental health thing. And so whatever that ends up looking like, if it's just you going for a run a couple times a week, or you just going for a walk, or like what I like to do is just go lift weights every day, or mostly every day, 4 on, 1 off. Then go ahead and do that. But like after, when you're doing that transition and you're becoming the digital nomad / remote worker that you've been dreaming of and fantasizing about, like, yes, absolutely do that. But like, still understand that, like, regardless of whatever your actual financial needs are when you make that transition, you still need to like quickly transition over into some sort of structure, and less about the money and the productivity, but more about the need, like sort of the mental health of having some sort of stability and momentum and doing things. And even if you don't know what you're going to be doing right away, you need to still kind of establish yourself some form of a routine and consistency, just for the simple fact that, like, through that in iterating, you'll eventually figure out something that needs to be, what you actually need to be doing. And aside from that, my name's Vince. I like to make content about travel and digital nomading. Please be kind and subscribe.